Hi, checking in with Bass Musician Magazine. I'm bringing today, I got some cool things that came this way from Cort Guitars. I have the this one's the GB74JJ, and this is the GB75JH. JH referring to the pickup configuration, the jazz with the humbucker, the JJ being the two jazz pickups. If I can show you guys for a minute, this is a really awesome piece. As an entry-level instrument to that student-level grade instrument, as a teacher, as a high school music teacher and private bass lesson instructor, I would definitely pick these instruments for my students. This has an awesome neck. This is the Canadian maple neck with the maple fingerboard, with the swamp ash body, with the natural polyurethane on top of that. There's a set of hip shot tuners on here, which is really nice too. The composition of the instrument is really beautiful. The cutaway at the neck joint is really sweet. And we have this clear coat pick guard, which is funny because when these instruments showed up, there was like this polyester thing on top of that. And I was like, oh, that's ugly. Until I figured out to pull it off and discovered that it really is just clear, and it really does show the underside of the instrument. If you can see on this black one, this is that translucent stain, and it's a little fingerprinty because I was setting it up right now. But you can see inside there that you can see the graining inside the wood. Now, I've tested these with several students, and everybody loves these instruments. The price point is great on these. You're going to come in on a really value instrument that is going to sound and play great. Now, it is a production line instrument, not to be confused with some of those higher ends like Federa, obviously, and M-Bass and Jersey Draws and some of those other basses out there. But if you are comparing and contrasting a Mexican Fender or one of the other Fenders outside of the US, I would definitely give the Corts a try. They did a really nice job on this. The pickups are all in-house, and they sound really good. Now, I would tweak it a little bit. I think that's one of the things that when you buy an instrument like this is that you're not afraid to make some alterations. You're not afraid to change some of the pickups. You're not afraid to change some of the electronics. Now, Cort has really stepped their game up on this. If you look at that bridge, can you see that bridge? That's the Omega. It reminds me of the hip shot bridge, which is the ass kicker or the kick-ass bridge, I believe it is. I have one of those here. Hold on one second, guys. I have one of those on this bass. This is the hip shot one. And you'll notice that, I don't want to hit the ceiling fan with it, but you'll notice that very similar in a lot of ways. The instrument itself is phenomenal. It took a little bit of setting up, but I apologize for the bad chair. It took a little bit of setting up, but to be honest with you, the instrument itself sounds exquisite. So if you're looking for that chord bass that entry-level instrument for a student, for yourself, for somebody in the family, this is a great buy. I've recommended this instrument to a couple places that I teach it. I said, this bass sounds good. It feels good for the money. It's a great choice. It has a really nice sound, and I think that I think you guys would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't check out the Cort line, because this instrument just sounds phenomenal. So what I'm going to do is this is the 4-string. This is the JJ. If you can take a look at that down that headstock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a sound sample here, so you kind of get a little sound of that E. Sounds really good. So the pickup configuration is similar. The control configuration is similar on both basses. We have volume with a push-pull passive option. Pickup select, and then we have our 2 tone knobs. Now again, this is all in-house Cort production line equipment inside here. The pickups, the preamp, the bridge. Now, most of us with Cort manufactures a lot of instruments for a lot of other people out there. They do some of their offshores line production line instruments. I always think of that. There was an Elric Cort hybrid they did for a while, which is a really nice bass. I had a couple students that had that, and it sounded great. It felt great. This is an excellent instrument. You know, when I think of a couple players that were Cort endorsees, I always think of Larry Coryell, and I also think of Jeff Berlin. And the Jeff Berlin bass is really nice. I've played that a couple times. Not Jeff's personal bass, but I played a couple of them at a couple different places, and they are really nice. And this instrument is just as nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch out. I'm gonna bring over this guy right here and give you some sound samples on that, because I think a lot of the readers of Bass Musician Magazine are 5-string guys or above. I know there's always us 4-string guys out there, or the guys that switch between 4, 5, 6, and 7, 9, 11, or whatever you want to do. Doesn't really matter. It's all good. But what I'd like to do is bring this 5-string in and give you a little option on that. So I'm going to switch. Now I have the 5-string. This is the GB75JH. JH again, referring to the jazz and the humbucker. Now, what you can hear here, right, is that the humbucker is definitely voiced a little bit. It's a little bit more nasal. It's a little bit stronger than that jazz pickup. But it's okay. It's actually pretty nice. So when you dial that in, we get a nice mix of those two. Again, push-pull, volume, passive option. We also have our bass and our treble right here. Kind of a tone shape, right? So with this one, we have a 34-inch scale with a, again, maple fingerboard, 35 inches, 21 frets. Now, here's another thing that I breezed over with the 4-string, is that they're using that Music Man style Truss Rod Adjuster right there, which is pretty cool. So it comes with a little pull bar. Let me show you this, guys. This is what it came with. So I did have to do a little adjustment. Again, when you buy an instrument like this and they're shipping it to you, you are going to need to do adjustments. I recommend that you learn how to do it. It's really a great idea to learn how to intonate and set up your own instruments. You know, checking your intonation at the 12th fret. The instrument itself, I mean, obviously it needs to be tuned a little bit, so I just knocked it around. But close enough. But it gives us, you have a really tight B string. So yeah, they're really punchy. Really nice. I would say the bass does not play like a lower end instrument at all. The bass honestly plays very nicely. This would be one that I think if you're one of those guys that, you know, you're looking for something to put in your studio, or you want to have it at, like me, I'd like to have this at my school where I teach, because this would be great to get the kids playing. The back of the neck almost feels like it has like that MTD kind of like, it's thinner on the treble side, a little bit thicker on the bass side of the neck. It's really a phenomenal piece. Again, the true sound of the bass, besides the microphone through the Quilter PJ combination here. The instrument sounds great. As a guy who I've gotten a chance to play a lot of basses, especially, you know, going to the band shows and also being, you know, teaching as long as I did at Bass Specialties. I've had a chance to play a lot of instruments, and this bass definitely has a very, very nice, it's got a very nice feel. So I would definitely recommend it for anybody. Again, look at that fingerboard. Look at that. Look at that. Again, the bridge, the pickups. This is a great bass. This is the neck joint. The access is really nice. They did an awesome job on this. Active, passive. Man, you cannot go wrong with this. You cannot. I'm going to emphasize that. I know some people are going to disagree with me out there, but it's okay. I think this is a great buy. I would say, you know, if you are in the market, check out Cort. And I don't mean to do this as a plug for Cort, but it kind of is, because they did a nice job with this. I'm not going to lie, you know. So get out there and play one. The GB what is this one? GB74JJ and the GB75JH. Both phenomenal instruments, guys. You got to try these out. You got to. Do yourself a favor. Give them a run. You will not be disappointed. I've gotten these into every student's hands that I have just to see what their opinion was, and all of them said the same thing. You know, it was funny because I threw some tape over the name and asked them what they thought it was, and everybody thought it was a higher brand instrument, and it was impressive. So I don't know, guys. This is just my opinion. I think it's pretty good. I've played, like I said, I play a lot of instruments, so I definitely give it 2 thumbs up at least. All right, thanks, guys.